The silence at NRG Stadium is misleading. While the lights may be dimmed, the front office in Houston is working through a critical juncture that will define the trajectory of this franchise for the next 3 seasons. We are seeing a series of strategic maneuvers that suggest a complete shift in philosophy, balancing immediate championship aspirations with long-term roster sustainability. From trench reinforcements to high-stakes personnel evaluations, the decisions being made right now are not just adjustments, they are foundational shifts. Let us break down exactly what is happening behind closed doors and how it shapes your team.
The acquisition of Braden Smith has sent ripples through the Texans fanbase, and for good reason. On the surface, bringing in a veteran of his caliber seems like a slam-dunk move to solidify the offensive line, a unit that has been a point of emphasis for the coaching staff throughout the entire offseason. However, when we peel back the layers of this contract and analyze the underlying metrics, there is a distinct sense of caution that needs to be addressed. The primary concern revolves around the durability and the specific scheme fit that the Texans' offensive coordinator is demanding. In the modern NFL, the offensive line is not just about raw power, it is about lateral agility, the ability to handle stunts and pass protection, and the capacity to maintain a clean pocket for the quarterback under heavy duress. Braden Smith brings a wealth of experience, but his recent injury history creates a hidden risk that the front office is clearly banking on mitigating through a revamped training and recovery regimen. If we look at the salary cap implications, this signing eats into the flexibility the Texans need to address other glaring holes in the secondary and the defensive interior. The financial burden is significant, and if Braden Smith fails to play at an elite level, the dead cap hit in future seasons could prove catastrophic. We have seen teams fall into this trap before, overpaying for veteran presence while ignoring the ascending talent on the roster. The Texans are clearly betting that his veteran leadership will expedite the development of the younger lineman, acting as a force multiplier in the locker room. From a tactical standpoint, his transition into this specific zone-blocking scheme is going to be the most monitored element of training camp. Can he handle the speed of the edge rushers in our division? The historical data suggests he has the tools, but the toll of his previous seasons is the variable that keeps scouts up at night. Furthermore, we have to consider the ripple effect on the rest of the unit. Does this move push a high-potential rookie to the bench, potentially stalling their progression? That is the balance the Texans are trying to strike. It is a high-stakes gamble on stability over raw upside. As fans, you want the proven commodity, but in the salary cap era, every dollar spent on a veteran like Braden Smith is a dollar not spent on a dynamic playmaker elsewhere. The Texans' front office is walking a tightrope, and the wind is blowing hard. If this move pays off, they look like geniuses who secured the trenches for a playoff run. If it does not, the criticism will be swift and unforgiving. This brings us to a larger question regarding the team's reliance on high-profile veteran acquisitions versus internal growth. The move to sign Braden Smith is actually just the tip of the iceberg when we look at how the team is handling its former top-tier draft assets in the current market, which leads me to wonder about the status of other key figures on this roster.
If you want to keep getting exclusive insights and tactical breakdowns like this, subscribe now and hit the notification bell. We are tracking every move the Texans make, providing you with the inside scoop before it hits the headlines.
Shifting gears to the quarterback market, the Texans have received a pivotal update regarding Baker Mayfield, the former #1 overall pick, who has become one of the most polarizing figures in recent league history. The news coming out of the facility is that Houston is keeping a very close eye on his availability as the free agency period progresses. Now, let us be clear about what this means from a strategic standpoint. The Texans are not necessarily looking to displace their current signal caller, but rather, they are conducting a comprehensive assessment of the market to ensure they have the most competitive depth chart in the AFC. Baker Mayfield brings a unique skill set, a gritty, high-motor approach that fits the culture the coaching staff is trying to build in Houston. He has proven he can win in the league, and his experience in high-pressure environments is something that many teams find invaluable. When we look at the financial structure of his potential deal, it is clear that he is seeking a situation where he can prove his long-term value, and the Texans represent a stable environment where he could potentially thrive as a high-end contributor. The tactical analysis here is fascinating. If the Texans were to bring him in, it would signify a shift toward a more aggressive, multifaceted offensive scheme. He thrives on play action and quick reads, which aligns perfectly with the current philosophy of maximizing efficiency on first and second down. However, there is a risk. Integrating a player of his status requires a delicate balancing act within the locker room. The team is currently focused on chemistry and continuity, and bringing in a veteran with a strong personality like Baker Mayfield could either be the catalyst for a championship run or a distraction if roles are not clearly defined from day one. We have to look at the historical context of his career. He has had flashes of brilliance, but consistency has remained the elusive factor. Is the Texans organization the right place for him to finally find that stability? The reports suggest that the Texans are engaging in due diligence, weighing the cost-to-benefit ratio of such a move. If they decide to pull the trigger, it would be a signal to the rest of the league that Houston is done waiting and is ready to compete for the division crown immediately. It is an aggressive play, one that puts pressure on the current personnel to perform. As we analyze this potential move, it becomes clear that the team is not just looking for talent, they are looking for specific types of competitors who can handle the scrutiny of the Houston market. This brings us to a very important point about the team's overall roster construction, specifically the need for elite, proven talent to round out the depth chart, which leads us to a potential move involving another high-pedigree player who could change the outlook of this defense.
The rumors circulating around the Texans' interest in Tre'Davious White are gaining significant traction, and this is a move that could legitimately change the ceiling of the entire secondary. Tre'Davious White, a former All-Pro draft pick of the Buffalo Bills, represents exactly the type of lockdown talent that teams covet when they are ready to make a deep postseason push. When we analyze his game, we see a player who possesses rare instincts and a technical proficiency that few cornerbacks in the NFL can match. Even coming off his recent challenges, his film shows a player who understands route concepts and leverage better than almost anyone at his position. The Texans secondary has been in need of a true alpha, a player who can shadow the opponent's best wide receiver and essentially eliminate half of the field. By pursuing Tre'Davious White, the Texans are signaling that they are tired of playing it safe. They want to be the team that dictates the pace of the game on defense, forcing opposing quarterbacks into uncomfortable situations. Strategically, this is a brilliant move if the compensation remains reasonable. His presence would allow the defensive coordinator to be more creative with safety help and blitz packages, knowing that he has a reliable option on the outside. From a salary cap perspective, acquiring a player of this caliber requires creative restructuring, but if the Texans can make the numbers work, the impact on their defensive efficiency would be immediate. Think about the impact on the divisional rivalry games. Having a player with the pedigree of Tre'Davious White to go up against the top receivers in the AFC South is a massive advantage. He brings a level of professionalism and a championship mindset that is essential for a young team looking to take that next step. There is a palpable excitement among the scouts about how he would fit into the current scheme, which prioritizes zone match principles but demands individual excellence on the perimeter. The risk, of course, is the contract and the health recovery, but fortune favors the bold, and the Texans appear to be moving toward a strategy of acquiring elite, battle-tested veterans to complement their young core. This is not just a roster addition, it is a statement of intent. The front office is betting that if they put the right pieces in place, the Texans will be a force to be reckoned with. This trio of potential moves, the offensive line upgrade, the quarterback depth evaluation, and the defensive secondary overhaul, shows a team that is methodically addressing every facet of their operation to ensure they are prepared for the rigors of a 17-game season. The level of activity we are seeing this week is unprecedented for this stage of the offseason.
We are witnessing a high-stakes transformation in Houston. The front office is clearly aggressive, and the next few weeks will determine if these calculated risks pay off in the win column. Every move, from the trenches to the secondary, is being made with one goal in mind: winning championships. It is a bold, decisive, and frankly, risky path, but it is the kind of ambition that defines a winning franchise. Now, I want to hear from you. With all these potential moves on the table, which one do you think is the most critical for the Texans to finalize? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let us keep the conversation going. I am your insider, and I will see you in the next report.